Hey, I totally disagree with the fish tubing hobbies that practices summer tubbing, as if it's just a no-brainer. It's something that they really anticipate every year. To me, that is just a total height of stupidity. Here's the reason why. Stay tuned. Hi everybody, welcome again to another episode of Fish Keeping Jamaica. Welcome to my channel. My name is Raleigh. I deal with ornamental fish keeping, fish care, breeding, keeping and trading. Whilst my techniques are basically anecdotal, based on experience, failure and years of practicing certain things, I consider myself as an enthusiast, a businessman and a lover for fish. Okay, so let's go into this summer tubbing business, right? It is expected that this shear will last for roughly about 20 minutes, and throughout this shear, guys, you will see me highlight some channels that have been doing summer tubbing over the years, and to me it's just not a wise thing, right? So summer tubbing, it encourages, let's get into the discussion, right? Summer tubbing encourages what I call thermal shock, right, for the fish. Now, unlike large natural ponds, small tubs lack thermal mass, right? In, let's say, North America, a sudden cold front can drop water temperature from 20 degrees overnight. In the Caribbean, midday sun can literally boil fish in shallow water. Right now, there is a thing regarding hot water, right, warm water, and water that is cold or getting there, right? Warm water has with it more oxygen. Cold water have with it less oxygen. Yes, you're going to have filtration system set up in your tubs, but let's continue with the argument as to why this is just it's going to create a problem, right, as far as temperature is concerned. Now, as water heats up, its ability to hold dissolve oxygen plummets, right? A hot afternoon can lead to like a total stock suffocation before the keeper even gets home from work, right? And this can be a problem as far as summer tubbing is concerned, right? Now, you have what I call biosecurity and predator risk. Now, aerial and terrestrial predators do exist within outdoor spaces, whether or not you live in a modernized world, world-class situation where you have first world country where you have modernized situations, right? Netting is often unsightly and it doesn't look good, right? And it's considered as ineffective against determine raccoons, herons, and neighboring cats, right? So this can be a problem, right? In the middle of the night, early morning, raccoons do go in your pond that are there. You might live in a space and you might say that raccoons don't exist here, or no cats are around, but you might be surprised to wake up in the morning and you see a raccoon shopping in your pond for fish. Now, the whole idea of pathogen introduction. Now, when the raccoon can't get the fish, the raccoon has the propensity to infect the water or to bring pathogens to the water that will cause problems for your fish later on. It might not be manifested within the same space where it is there, because some pathogens takes a while to metastasize, to show itself, right? And you might just be incubating something that might be disastrous for your aquatic space. So at the end of summer, when fall do come and you gather all the fish and you place them inside in that nice pretty aquarium, the pathogen starts to metastasize and you find that your fish are dying and you're wondering why. One of the key reasons could be that something tried to catch the fish, was unable to, and it just added a pathogen to the space, not intentionally, but it's a wild, open wild space, right? And your fish is considered immune to outdoor living. So, and I'll get to that later on, right? So it becomes a problem, right? So you have also dragonfly, Dems fly. These are huge looking creatures that huge looking creatures in comparative to the fly, right? Who can lay eggs within your tub, right? Nymphs, which are apex predators that will like hunt and kill flies, and in some cases larger fish within a pond space that is outside, right? And these little buggers, they are so difficult at times to see, right? It's so amazing, right? And sometimes you might even miss them thinking that it's a fish or something like that, right? In addition to the whole the pathogen risk entering into the space and the predator risk, something actually getting your fish, finally getting your fish. You also have bird waste, avian dropping. You have birds of all nature, and bird waste carries with it parasites and pathogens that are not present in controlled indoor environment. And remember, your fish is from a sterile space wherein its system is not developed so as to, or should I say, conditioned so as to fight off certain pathogen. It is restricted for a particular space, so it will tend to become infected with the droppings of the bird. Also, fish are considered opportunistic feeders. So I have some fish in the back of my yard, right? Whether it be goldfish, tilapia, mengano. Once something falls in the water, they consider it mysterious and they go at it and they snap at it. Sometimes they taste it and spit it out, or sometimes they just ignore it. But you have that risk where in which this waste might be consumed or be tasted, introducing pathogen within the fish system. The fish eventually gets disease, and you find that your summer tub experience all go wrong, right? You also have what you call environmental contamination. Now, heavy summer rain can wash lawn fertilizer, pesticide, or roof zinc into the tub, causing immediate mass die-off. And when I talk about fertilizer, you might be saying, but the summer tub is above ground, so you won't have the fertilizer going in, or the pesticide going into the pond, the tub itself. Now, I can tell you that a next door neighbor of mine I gave him some swordtail, red swordtail, right? And he had them and they look really so awesome because they were few in numbers in comparative to mine, and they had a large space. They grew very fat and pretty and really red, right? And he had, he had the green one and the red one and an orange one, right? The different types to me, so it looks awesome. And they discovered white flies on their garden floors, right? And where the floors are and the tubs are outside for him, right? They are like a good distance apart. And what happened is that they got the pesticide and they sprayed the area for the which had the white flies. And within a few minutes, the fish started to float in the water, because the fumes of the pesticide was actually collected, or should I say, conducted by the water. I can't explain the science of that, but it was a mass die-off of the entire the fish that was outside. So this too can happen whether you live in England, North America, the Caribbean, wherever. Summer tubbing is a risk, right? A single, and you can also have flash flooding, right? And you might say, but I live in the United States, or I live in England, and there's no heightened risk of flash flood actually coming into being. Well, summer is what you refer to as the period of uncertainties as far as rain, really terrible rain conditions, especially for North America, especially for, let's say, the sections which borders the Caribbean and North America, where in it you have tropical storm, not necessarily hurricane, but tropical storm. Normally you will have rainfall starting in May, and then the hurricane season start in June, and between June and August, that's the time in which most persons do their summer tubbing. What you find is that during this period of time you have the heightened risk of the entire space flooding, and you actually lose all the fish that you have within the tub outdoor, and that's it. You literally have all your fish swimming down the road and you lose them. All right, so you have what you refer to as the October crisis, a transition stress, right? Which is another issue why in which I disagree with the move to have your fish being placed outdoors for the summer, right? The hard move, bringing the fish back inside, requires a massive acclimatization, getting the fish getting used to being indoors again. This actually referred to as transition stress, right? This movement from a high UV, high microbe outdoor tub back into a sterile indoor tank often trigger latent infections like ick or velvet. Remember, I shared with you that some pathogens don't show themselves while they are outdoors, but once they come inside within the sterile environment, it's like the pathogens are incubated, and it's now time for them to blossom, and it causes a problem, right? So this is another issue why I disagree with the whole idea of summer tubbing. All right, so size disparity. Now in looking at the summer tubbing, right, you realize that fish often go faster outside, but the rebound stress of moving back to a smaller indoor quarters can lead to like aggression and stunted health shortly after the move, right? So it's like the fish it is growing outside because it's just a part of nature. The more the aquatic space is in tune with the outdoor, with the environment, is the more propensity, the more likelihood of the aquatic creature to go faster. Now when it becomes a part of a sterile space, now it has grown and it has reproduced, and it was used to this large tub outdoors, and you place the creature within your 50 or your 100-gallon aquarium that's inside now, because it's becoming fall and it's getting cold. So you find that there's a lot of aggression. And with aggression comes health issues. You have fish beating on other fish, and you're gonna lose some fish because of that, right? I hope that this video is short, right? I'm just hoping, right? So you have also the fifth and final, fifth and final point in which I would like to share against summer tubbing, right, guys, is the ethical and social responsibility. Now, you have what I call invasive species risk. Now, if a tub overflows during a storm and you are situated near a waterway, right, or it is a flooding situation, non-native fish can enter into the local waterways, the local drainage, and this is an ecological death sentence for like the local flora and fauna, and create a reputation for the hobby that you ended up the authorities banning certain things to occur, such as outdoor ponds. You have some states in the United States, not states, I mean like some communities that objects, they disagree with the fact that you are going to have an outdoor pond, right? And there are several different reasons for this, and this is probably one, right? For example, I use Eladia densa, right? Eladia densa, it's controlled by my fish, because my fish actually eats the leaf, and over time I have to get additional Eladia densa from the nearby river, right? And I share with you in a series. Well, the series is still going on. I have over 26 videos on that, right? And I don't think I've gone through half of that as yet, but I am sharing them incremental with you, so you understand the extent in which I have looked at it, because I don't want it to be thinking that I'm just talking about pure Eladia densa. Let's get back to the video. So you find that the introduction of invasive species, just like how you can be bothered with the Eladia densa and just throw it in the waterways, and the Eladia densa goes up and blocks the waterways and cause problem. And you have some states and some species, some towns, they make it illegal for anyone to sell this plant or have this plant within their possession, because of the likelihood of this plant becoming a part of the natural water space and creating problem for the natural ecosystem, because it stifles the other plant within the system, and it can cause flooding risk, right? Same too with fish species which doesn't belong, and it's being introduced into a new space. What happened is that you have a fish that probably might be consuming the fish that is native to the space, so therefore the native ecology of the entire space is practically destroyed, right? All right, there's this one. I think I'm going to be going under 20 minutes, guys. 20 minutes, right? Okay, so there's this last point in which I wish to share with you, right? Is that outside tubs are rarely viewed from the side. You cannot monitor the early signs of health issues, parasites that the fish may have as a result of you looking at the top of it. Well, that's an argument, right? For me, where I'm at in Jamaica, I maintain my ponds regularly. I do my water change. I change the fish from one space to the next, and in doing that, I am able to to monitor my fish to see whether or not they are sick, if they have disease, right? When you're summer tubbing, you are practically having your fish outdoors for roughly about 3 months, right? And your main goal is to get them to grow and to reproduce, right? And the other things that comes with it is at times ignore, right? You also have the and this is the last point in which I wish to make, right? I'm trying to keep it 20 minutes, right? All right, so there's a point in which I want to make the cost of failure, right? No, calculate the price of the fish, then you calculate the cost of keeping the fish indoor, then you calculate the cost of keeping the fish outdoor, and then you compare both to see which of the two is considered more feasible, right? The cost of a controlled indoor rack is considered a little bit more if you're like your general setup is indoor, right? That means you have one standardized structured filtration system, organization and all that, right? If you have summer tubbing going on, you are likely to have summer tub disaster with probability of a tubbing disaster, or you have a technical breakdown for your summer tubbing experience. It's something to consider, guys. For me, I do outdoor fish keeping, fish farming. I'm a hobbyist, and I'm also a businessman. My fish is not my fishing, which I love and which I have indoor. I hardly show them on screen, because I love them that much. However, but the fish that I have that I prep for sale, these fish are carefully managed outdoors, 24/7, 12 months per year, and I live in the tropics where I experience the hot and the wet season, or the wet and dry season, right? And the season, the fish is actually climatized to the situation. Don't use my situation where I am at to equate what you're doing, because what you're doing, you're going to be moving the fish again from the space in which you are tubbing indoors to a different setup. And to me, that is total stupidity. This is really for another episode of Fish Keeping Jamaica, guys. Yeah, peace out. Wow, I thought it would be 20 minutes. 22. Snaps. Bye bye.